both the horizontals and the verticals. And if I have a sound included, which you'll see coming up, I will have a speaker here as well as an X to delete that later. So let's take a look at the next tab and see what a completed screen would look like. I'm going to go to the Paint tab. Now, again, looking at the bottom, you'll notice that I have the text, circle the objects that are alive. I have both my red delete X as well as I have my speaker icon down there, which tells me that I already have an audio file imported for this. As I take a look at the rest of the screen, I see that I've got my brush options on the left, and this allows me, I can turn ink effect on or off. That is where I'm able to customize and create some of the three-dimensional and some of the fancier ink built into the ink application. I can also set the default line thickness as well. So depending on how much material I have on the surface as well as what the age of the students that I'm working with, I may want to vary this line thickness to make it easier for the students to work. What I have here in my custom backgrounds, imports remaining 19, I have a single image of multiple objects. So this entire theme pack is alive or not. And the text says circle the objects that are alive. So within this picture, I have several different pictures of objects, and the student's task is to circle the ones on the table with the ink that they feel are alive. I can actually have up to 20 images within my Paint application. If I go to my Media tab, this is where I can load in still pictures as well as video clips to allow the students to be able to resize, rotate, and discuss what it is they're seeing in front of them. Again, I can choose my background image by clicking on the Open folder, and I can then import an image in. I can paste an image in, and I can also clear an image that's already in there. Again, on my left-hand side, I have additional options. Presentation scalings means that when I make an image full size, it automatically orients to the bottom of the table so it can be presented, or I can leave all of them as snapshots that are able to be passed around the table and manipulated by the learners. Range of scaling. How much do I want the students to be able to zoom in or resize the images? I can choose to keep them all at the same size if it's a sorting activity, or if it's a discussion-based activity, I may want them to be able to zoom in quite a bit. On the main body of the panel, this is where I'm able to add in and remove images and videos. I have a total of 20 that I can place on the screen. So I would click on Import, I would go into my documents, I would go into my pictures, and I would find my sample pictures. Let's grab Blue Hills. You notice that it will accept JPEG, GIF, PNG, AVI, or WMV files. I click Open, and now that will add that in to my list of available media types, media files that I have in this application. Again, at the bottom, same thing as before. I can import a sound. There's already sound imported. It shows me that by use of the speaker here. And I can type in my text, watch the videos, which things are incorrect. I'm now going to move on to the multiple choice activity. The multiple choice activity is the way for the students to be able to be asked questions and have all of them vote or make their choices on what they think the correct answer is. These can have pictures associated with them or not. It's purely up to you from a design standpoint. So over here on the side, the first thing is I have to create an activity. So I've created a couple here. This first one is MC1, multiple choice 1. When I have two different activities, the question mark tells me I can have as many activities as I want, which can have as many different questions as I want. And basically when the students select multiple choice, they will be given the choice of MC1 or MC2. So I can put multiple different question sets in there as well. In the second step of the process, I actually set up the activity. So I'm working again on MC1, MC1. This is where I'm able to come in and toggle whether the students have to get a correct answer or not. If the box is selected, students must get the correct answer, otherwise they cannot move on to the next question. Or I can go ahead and just have it unchecked, which means that it's more of a discussion, it's more of an open-ended type of question. If I have correct answer required selected, do I want it to be the majority rules where over 50% of the students that are participating are actually have to get the correct answer? Do I need it that all of them must agree and come to a consensus? Or the first one in is the only one that counts? After I've decided those parameters, which I can change on a question by question basis, I would then come down and I would add in my questions. So you'll see here I've got 6 questions. The first one, the question is, this is something that some living things do with their eyes. At the answer at the bottom, I have the answer C. Notice that there is no image inserted with this question, so therefore they're not going to see anything except the words of the question itself. If I click to the next one, this is something that some living things do with their mouths. The next one, some things do with their brain, and the answer has been changed. So by putting in the answer here, what that's going to actually allow me to do is that when I select that question, or when I select the number of students, if I have 3 students, there will be 3 answers with the word think on it in the perimeter around the question. It's gauged by the setting on the table with how many learners there are. I just need to put in think 1 time, and then if I have 5 students listed on the table, it will then give me 5 of those options. Let's switch over to multiple choice 2. The activity has changed a little bit. I've got different questions, and this is basically where I've now created a picture, an image, which would appear, and the answer would be listed underneath it or off to the side of it. I can do that by just clicking in these boxes. So I want the answer to be at the bottom of it, and this picture is a picture of the sun and looks like mice. Let's go to a better one. Here we go. A flower and a piggy bank. And the question is, which